We are Foster the People. I'm Mark.
And I'm Cubby.
And I'm Mark Pontius.
Nice distinction there on the surname. Helps. The two Marks. All right. Well, Mark, you originally were from Ohio and you've hooked up with the band in LA. What was it about the three of you and about the three of you guys that kind of clicked and made this work?
I mean, we were friends for a few years before we started playing music together. So that was a big part of it, just having the camaraderie already kind of established, before we played together. But other than that, Mark was always playing kind of electronic, kind of in the same style that we do now. And there's not really a lot of drummers in LA there's not really a lot of musicians in LA that understand the type of music that we make.
In the programming sense, you mean, like in the drum programming, or?
Yeah, just like combining electronic and organic music. I mean, that's just what I found. There's a lot of rock and roll musicians in LA. Just, I don't know if it's like the whole like Sunset Strip stigma that just brings them from all over the country, but there's just a lot of like long hair, leather pants wearing dudes that know how to shred. So
before Foster the People, was your music, Mark Foster, electronically influenced as well?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple different projects. I mean, one was just like Americana acoustic guitar, like singer-songwriter stuff, and then during that same time I was writing songs in my own studio or whatever that was more electronic, but I never really played those live. That was kind of just something that I love to do, but never figured out how to actually like present it.
It is a whole other element to presenting albums, for example, and with your live show you grow the band to 2 extra members. Is that happening here in Melbourne as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And does that help you realize all the sounds that you created on that album?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's so many melodies going on in the songs that we could easily have 5 other guys on stage with us, and it would work fine, perfectly. But having those 2 extra guys helps a lot. They're both multi-instrumentalists, and there's a lot of switching from drums to keyboards to guitar to whatever to be able to play songs from Torches live.
Talking about Torches, let's start with that incredible debut album that has done incredibly well. I'm really interested in the fact that there were 4 big name producers that worked on this album, and I think you guys have all kind of had a production role before this album, so you've kind of done your own production, is that right?
Yeah, I produced Pumped Up Kicks, and then I guess during that time I was composing for commercials and stuff, so yeah, I definitely have one foot in the production world. So
how was it? I mean, because production can be very, instrumental to how things kind of eventually work out and how they sound and what the, focus is. How was it to hand over that to these producers? What was the experience?
I think it was really fulfilling. They're all super musical guys, so to be able to see their different techniques and just the way that they approach music, it was nice. And also for me being so close to the songwriting process, I really didn't want to like go in and try to produce the record, because it's like you get lost and you just would hit a ceiling and wouldn't really know where to take the song. So be able to turn it over to them and see what they would do, and then them be able to kind of workshop the 3 of us together, playing together and just jamming things and fleshing things out in the studio. I think the record definitely benefited from that.
Did much of the stuff, the music change by the time you got to the studio and in that working? Was it really different? Have you got demos that you listen back to and go, oh wow, that was that idea, look where it came?
I think a lot of the ideas were there. You listen to the demos, but it was kind of like looking at a landscape through a piece of opaque glass. I think the songs, the elements in the songs really got brought out when we went into a proper environment and brought everything that we individually bring to the table as musicians collectively. I think things became a lot more focused and just formed a more solid identity.
There's probably nothing more satisfying than that sort of clarity as a musician, then as well, getting to hear what you want to hear from what you're trying to create.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the challenge, because on the flip side, there's nothing worse than going in and putting all this effort into something and having a producer put too strong of a thumbprint on the song, or not getting the vision right, or just not seeing eye to eye. You really have to be on it, and I think going into the process, that's what made me comfortable about being able to go in with 4 different guys, because I knew in the back of my head, I knew how to engineer, I knew how to produce as well. So if something started to go down a wrong path, I could be like, hey, wait, like this isn't sounding right, we need to like bring it back this way. So yeah,
and the art of a good producer is actually being able to hear that without getting their ego involved in what they're trying to make of something, I guess.
Totally. And that was a hard part too. Like, if I felt like I needed to dig my heels in on something, I'm talking to guys that have sold millions of records.
Did they ever play that card?
No, not. I mean, there's pushback for sure. They never pulled that card out.
I'm interested too, and you said that these were some of your heroes in the production world, and obviously they've worked with some of the most successful artists and done some incredible stuff. How did you hook up with them? Was it just a wish list and then see how you went with finding them, or what was it?
Yeah, we compiled a list of everybody that we wanted to work with and kind of whittled it down and reached out to a bunch of people to see who's available and whatnot. And I mean, it really just came together beautifully. They would have all loved to do the whole thing or have it all to themselves. But, I mean, the way that we approached it and the way we went into the whole process was, let's just try this out. Let's see if this relationship works, because, you don't want to get married before you go on a date.
But it's hard sometimes because those relationships sometimes have to be sped up, but good that you had that preparation time, I guess.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, it'd be, 2 or 3 weeks with one guy. We'd do 2 songs or whatever, and then we move on and
Speed dating.
Yeah, basically, it's speed dating.
Now, there's been a lot written about this album, obviously, and very positive critique of this. One of the things that comes out of it is that it has a real Californian sound to it. And obviously, coming from outside of the Californian world, would you agree? Has there an influence of that space that makes it something?
Yeah, I think the longer we're away from California, the more it becomes apparent. It sounds like Southern California. And also listening to other bands that have come out of there, you can really see a through line. You can see elements in each one of the bands that have come out of LA that have that same sort of thing. And I think it really is just the sun. I think the sun's just like permeating the songwriting.
I also wanted to talk about Pumped Up Kicks and how incredible that success was. And it's always awkward to say that because obviously the song is that good. It deserves that kind of response. But I heard also that it was written in 3 hours. Is that true?
Yeah, probably a little bit more, like 5 or 6. But
still pretty quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Were you surprised in some way? Because obviously there's lots of good music that doesn't get that sort of response. What was the feeling to sort of go far out? Look at how many responses we've had in 1 week to this track.
When Pumped Up Kick started to take off, we were just kind of having fun. We were jamming. We didn't really have like a lot of work ethic behind the band at the time. I think we'd played like 1 or 2 shows, and we were just kind of having fun with it. And Mark Pontius was he was. Why don't you tell? Remember when we were rehearsing that one night and Pumped Up Kicks was on Hype Machine, and I didn't even know what Hype Machine was, but Mark was like, "You're freaking out
about being reluctant." You mean to like?
Yeah,
be in the
he
band.
was freaked out, man. It started going up the charts, and he was just like,
"Really? Did you have the kind of reverse response to it in a way?"
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think I had been, in a band before this for like 6 years, and I was a little burnt out on that band. And I loved this project from the get-go when we started working together. So,
but also a bit sort of tired of the industry and tired
and just
tired
of being in a band with a group of people,
Right.
And so I think that when that happened, it was great. I was very excited about it, but it was also like, okay,
rushing to the altar
here we
together.
go, we're going in again, yeah, So
yeah.
I'm glad I stuck with it.
I think like a month before that happened, Mark told me that he wanted to move to Australia, and that was his plan.
Yeah, and I was close to doing it. I had packed up. I had like planned a way to do it.
But now you've seen how cold it is.
Yeah.
So
I still love it here.
Now we're here playing music.
Yeah.
Something else lovely that I just read that you guys are going to be involved in when you get back to America on a tour, and it's the Do Good Bus. What is that? That sounds incredible.
It's actually a kind of a new idea. We want to be involved in charity work, and I think this is kind of our first step in doing that. And yeah, it's basically simply a bus that's going to follow our bus on tour and work with specific like local charities in each city that we're in. And it's going to be a situation where you can sign up to get on the bus in each city. You sign up blindly, not really knowing what you're going to do, but you're going to help and do good somewhere. And then you go do good for the day, and then we're going to do little things like to kind of include it in the tour. Like maybe we'll come on some of the buses, or we'll be involved in every way we can,
You'll be involved as well in the volunteer activity, perhaps.
Yeah.
In each
We want to,
city?
whenever we can, we're going to do our best to do
Because
that.
it's really taking an opportunity of going into these communities that you wouldn't have been in before. Of course, you can go and play and interact, but real interaction happens in places that, you wouldn't normally get access to. This is,
Right.
you should do this everywhere you go. What a great way to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We're really excited about it. So, I mean, we're trying to raise money for it right now. We need to raise money for the bus and the driver and everything.
So is this actually your initiative?
It's a partnership. Where
So, yeah.
the Do Good bus was existing prior to us, but we'd heard about them and decided to form a partnership with them. And yeah.
It was only in LA at the time. Like they've only done it like for like a year in LA. So this is a cool idea that we kind of collaborated with them, and they came up with the idea to like.
It's your
let's do
sister's
a
idea.
tour. Yeah.
Don't leave that part out.
Right. You don't have to keep that a secret. It is my sister's idea.
That's like incredible that you all have a similar ethos in this way, because it's not always shared, these sorts of ideas. I guess in bands there's so many agendas and so many ideas.
When we started the band, we talked about doing a lot of things for charity. I mean, even just hence the name Foster the People. It's kind of
Yeah.
a mission statement in a sense. So we've just been we've been looking for opportunities to do this, and this is the first thing that we get to do. So it's gonna be part of our charity called Foster the Future. Foster the Future and the Do Good Bus partner up.
I love it. It has been so lovely to speak to both the Marks and Cubby. Foster the People, congratulations on your debut album, and good luck with your shows in Melbourne.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.